Alright, welcome back. Today we're going to close out the series on the gear review with how to pack your pack, as there are some techniques that will help you balance your weight more appropriately and some things to think about when packing. First, I want to go over the last few items that I did not cover in the general gear review, yet one of them at least is, I believe, an absolute essential item. That would be maps. Map of wherever you're going. I highly suggest getting a tear-resistant, waterproof map from the local Forest Service, or online, or many bookstores carry maps as well, especially of the area that you're in. And yeah, super important to know where you are. Super important to know where on the map you're going. We're going to cover later in another series how to read a map so you can determine where your hike is going to be, whether it's on trail, off trail, what kind of terrain you're getting into, what your water options are, etc. So yeah, maps super important. And as we go into the series, we'll teach you how to use a map with a compass, and therefore you hopefully will never become lost if you have a map and a compass on you at all times. So yes, maps, super important. I also do download a map on my app Gaia, G-A-I-A, I believe it is, and super great GPS. I've used it for a few years now, and I really do enjoy it. You can track your routes, you can have different filters of terrain, whether it be topo, USGS, satellite. There's a few more options on there, but I always just use USGS topo. Definitely a good option there as well. And then if you go to Nat Geo, I believe it's natgeomaps.com, and just download the quads, or look for the quads link, and that basically is just I'm not sure the mileage. I want to say it's maybe anywhere from 10 to 15 miles square, but once again, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done my research as far as what the area is, but it's great because you can really pinpoint your area, and you can download multiple quads that are connected, and therefore see your entire trail on a series of pamphlets, and it's free besides printing. So definitely a few good options for your maps. Another good thing to bring is a book. You'll have downtime, you will have time to read, and it's kind of nice when you're kind of like, what should I do today? Having a good book is a good way to pass the time. I have not been a huge reader until the last few years, and I do believe that reading is a gift. I mean, when you're reading a book, say for instance The Tracker, Tom Brown Jr., you're reading this person's experience, you're reading and learning from their mistakes and their successes. And a book like this in particular, which I highly suggest to anybody who's outdoorsy, it's pretty spectacular, and something that I think that we could all strive for in the connection to the earth that this person has received, and just the basic understanding of surroundings and appreciation for them. Great book, very area appropriate. I'm not necessarily going to bring Sci-Fi 2020 on the trip because yes, I guess I could be looking out into the stars and enjoying the idea there of the duality, but I prefer documentaries as it is anyway, and so this is a little more relevant. Also, I like to bring a journal. We saw my Write in the Rain pencil earlier. This is my Write in the Rain journal, and it's very robust. I have my name and address on it just in case it's I lose it somehow and it's found. I hopefully can get it back because I keep a lot of experience and ideas written down in here, as well as what worked on the trip, what didn't work on the trip, and I log my weights for, this is currently a 6-day weight log, just to see how my weight is shifting, where I could save weight, what's heavy, etc. Many different things you can do with a book like this, but you can also keep your cribbage scores. I don't have a cribbage score on here that I care to show, so we're going to let that go. My uncle's laughing right now because he's won almost all of them. Also, navigating, maps, always a good way to keep track of, or rather to log your mapping, all these different coordinates and everything, and You can self-map from there. Very, very good piece of equipment to bring. The Right in the Rain series is great. I've had them in the rain, and I'm mapping and tracking and logging all my information in a downpour. No problem there. I do notice that these pages could tear, I feel, and the pencil doesn't work amazing in the rain, but it does. It's readable. It's totally readable, totally legible, and yeah, it's a real nice piece of equipment to have, and it's good to write about your experiences, because then you can learn from yourself later on, because we all forget things as time goes on. So let's pack the pack. I'm going to start with the pack with the bedroll attached, partially because my bedroll is a little bit different. It's not a pain to attach, but I'd rather not take it off and put it back on when that's technically the last thing I would do, though, being that it's so kind of big and bulky. However, we will just move forward with it. So, bedroll is attached. My reading material is going to go in the back flap of my backpack. That's where I like to keep it. I like to keep the map towards the top, because if I need to pull it out and use it, I want it easily accessible. The easier you make things for yourself, the more likely you are going to utilize them. So, something to keep in mind. My pack doesn't stand up on its own very well, so we're going to lay it down. And next thing's next. We're going to go with the food. As you can see, this is an empty bear can. I'm switched over for another trip right now into my bear bag, but imagine this was full. It would be one of your heaviest items, and so we're going to get this thing located, situated first. You want the bulk of your weight to your lower back, above your hips, and close in, so that your center of gravity is very much stabilized over your legs, and no better place to start with that than your heaviest item. My bedroll is equally as heavy as my bear can. It's just awkward, and it's big and it's bulky, and if you carry a different system, like my lighter weight system, it's totally fine for it to go on the bottom. I don't really have anywhere else to go. I could put it above my shoulders. I definitely prefer to have it lower versus higher if I can't have it at the center of my back, but it is a little low, and I notice it, but I've also gotten used to it. Ideally, though, you want to have the bulkier weight above your hips and below your shoulder blades, essentially, close to your back. So the bedroll isn't in an optimal position in my kit situation, but it works just fine. Just some things to think about. If I had it above my shoulders, that'd be a lot of top weight, and I'd much rather prefer to have it low. So we'll take our bear can, our food, and due to the size of my pack, remember I had said that it's a little bit small, a 35 liter, so it's a little bit difficult to fit my bear can how I ideally would like it. Excuse me. Ideally, I'd like to have it down and sideways into my pack. I'd like to have it sitting like this, because then it's evenly distributed side to side, and it's at the perfect height all around. That is ideal in my mind. In my pack, however, I have to stand it up. And I was trying to stand it up in the center and stuff things on either side of it, but I found that it's just best in the center, and I pull it to one side. Out of habit, and because my water system comes out of my right side, I tuck it far to the left side. So that gets put all the way in to the left, against the wall. I haven't noticed it being off center particularly. It hasn't bothered me. I pack most of my other kit items into my day bag, which will go on the other side of it. Let's do that now. So we'll put this on the other side of the bear can. It isn't the same weight, and it's shy by a couple pounds, but as the trip goes on and my food is being depleted, the bear can also loses its weight, so it starts to balance out. So we're nice and snug in there. We'll go ahead and feed our water system through. Okay. All right. So we're pretty much full side to side. Because both of these objects are fairly circular, there is a bit of a slot running right here. For that, we'll take our puffy and we'll stuff him right down in the center of that, because it's a good spot for it, really. There's no other reason. I could put it on top next to my other clothing items, but I just prefer to kind of keep it in this tucked area. I feel like it keeps everything nice and tight and snug. Not that I've had any problems with that, but it's a good spot for it. Maybe even impact padding if I were to drop this down. Might help protect my water purifier in there. So good thing to think about. And then clothing on top. Now, you want to pack things in a way that, what am I going to use first? Beneficially for the sleeping roll being on the outside, that's one of the first things I'm going to pull out and set up my shelter. So, very easy access, clip, clip, roll it out, set it up, done. Food, not something you're likely going to need soon, unless you keep your snacks in there. I like to carry mine on my hip belt, but if you keep your snacks in your food, in this particular situation, I'm able to access it, pull my clothes off, and just open it right in the can. I don't even have to take it out. Whereas if it were along the bottom, that's going to cause me issues. But once again, carry your snacks on your hip belt and you won't have to worry about that. Water purifier and utilities are standing up on the side. Another reason I like everything vertical, because as I open that, everything is right there. Straight line, nothing's really stacked on top of each other. It's all got its own kind of column that it's sitting in. So one benefit to setting it up in this manner. Once again, though, I would prefer my bear can sideways. So that is everything. I'm just going to close the lid up. Oh, cinch it down first. If you have any compression straps on your backpack, go ahead and strap those down first. This is just kind of a cinch tie at the top with a little wedge lock, basically. Awesome little design, very easy. Then we're going to strap it up. Okay, there we go. And we are ready to rock and roll. So, I've given you the gear, I've given you the why to carry the gear, the purpose and reasoning behind some of it, and food. So I think it's time for us to get out into the woods. There are a few things we're going to need to cover as far as that I consider very necessary and basic. For example, map reading, compass use, and first aid. So we'll cover those things before we really get into the heart of shelter building, fire making, judging heights, distances, navigation, all that kind of fun stuff. We're really getting there, but I really want to make this a cohesive kind of class situation so you can watch it beginning to end and in chronological order. Ideally, this will all give you the knowledge to tackle problems in appropriate order and or priority. So first aid is definitely going to be one of the first classes that we're going to get into, and it will be a bit of a longer series, maybe shorter videos, but I want to be very clear on the different types of potential harm you can come under and what to do in those situations. So bear with me and or enjoy with me, because I'm having a blast making these videos. I hope they're educational. You're kind of just learning with me, and I'm sharing to the best of my knowledge. So please stick with me here and let's have some fun. Take care.